Welcome back to the arena. Welcome everyone. Today we have more AI battles for you. We're doing this every Wednesday. We may switch to every other Wednesday, but for now, every Wednesday. Last time we had some tech issues and some issues with the AI. Because it was being disobedient enough not to allow me to use its premium features for free, which is unacceptable, frankly, so I switched to a different one for today. We need to see if it works better. It might be, I think it's better in some ways, maybe worse than others, we'll find out. And maybe better overall. We will get started right now. Chat, post your fighters. And everyone else, vote on the fighter you want to see. We'll pick the two with the highest number of votes. Vote by just putting a reaction on the image. You can submit a fighter by just entering the name, description, and image. While you guys submit that, I will explain for anyone who's new. Players who are currently in the Discord server submit a fighter, and it's sent into the AI-conducted battle arena, which will be up here soon. Players have a name, a short description, and an AI-generated image, and we use that to sort of conduct the fight with. The actual fight itself is generated by an AI, and today I have a new AI to try out. So far, there are submissions from Libertine and Matthias, the God Emperor of Mankind versus a cyborg with a phase sword. So we'll switch one of those. If those are the ones that get picked or something else does. We're starting off with not very many people gathered. I think I'm starting at a different time than usual, so there may be less people ready to submit a character, but I think that'll improve as we go through. Matthias, generally titles don't get included in the AI itself, just the name. So Dylan Timp you've put there, that'll be included, but God Emperor of Mankind probably won't be. But you guys are the only two submitting them for the first battle. I think there will be more as we go through, but that's a good place to start. Matthias and Libertine, looks like you two are up. Let me take a second to set up the battle. Meanwhile, feel free to, shit talk each other. One thing first. It's already stopped. No. There's that. Right. That's good. Let's copy over the details. And the players are versus us. All right, chat. Almost ready. It doesn't take, I don't think, much longer to copy things into this new AI. It's a little bit less convenient, but not much. You probably just go ahead and guess the AI that we're using as well, by the way. I think someone showed that I have briefly used it in the past, but I've never properly used it. This will be the first time I've properly used it, except to test. Okay. Right. Ready? Let's hope this works. I did test it. First battle. Libertine versus Matthias. Valent versus Dylan Timp. That does look... Okay, it's because of this. There we go. Right, let's send in the initial message to ChatGPT and see what it gives us. I will... So... For anyone that's curious, this is what I send into it. This is just basically instructions on how it should conduct itself. I'll read the fighters. In the arena is Valent, a cyborg with a phase sword, warrior monk of the Technomancers. The only part of him that's still human is his brain and nervous system. That'll be controlled by Libertine. Versus Dylan Timp, sworn enemy of President H. He wields a flaming sword of truth and pure meme magic to fire all of his people's enemies. Played by Matthias. So, The introductory message from ChatGPT has arrived. In the arena stands Valent, the cyborg warrior monk of the Technomancers. His metallic body glistens in the harsh arena lights, and the only remnants of his humanity lie within his brain and nervous system. Opposite him is Deland Timp, the sworn enemy of Pretom Adam H, bearing a flaming sword of truth and wielding the enigmatic power of meme magic. The arena chosen at random is a desolate wasteland with jagged rocks and scattered ruins, providing ample cover and obstacles for the fighters. Lava pits seethe at the arena's edges, posing a deadly hazard. New thing in this is that the arenas are now randomized. This one is similar to the normal one we were using before, but different enough. As the crowd watches with bated breath, Valent and Deland exchange no words. Their steely gazes speak volumes, each aware of the fierce battle that is about to unfold. The tension is palpable as the combatants prepare to engage in a battle of wits, strength, and mystic powers. The battle begins now. Let's see who gets the initiative. It is going to be Libertine as Valent, going first, which means that Matthias, as Deland Timp, you have a 1 regeneration on your turn, so we can make the AI generate again what it just did, which often makes it change its the course of the battle. You get to choose to do that 1 time on your turn, so ping me when you want to do that, make sure that I'm aware of it. We can go back and correct things in this AI, just like we could in the other one. So, Libertine, how will you open the battle? Tomboy submission. You Deland Timp is not a tomboy submission, but I assume that that's what you're going to be putting the points towards. It's been actually unexpected that no one has tried to create a tomboy character yet. I was half expecting it, but not yet. I guess 8-bits kind of was, but like, I was expecting someone to make a character which is just like, it's a tomboy because we like those. Well, you have a good chance, Matthias, to be a fan favorite anyway. So, Valent dashes towards Deland Timp, closing the distance and swinging his phase sword at Deland Timp's neck. It's thinking. It was faster than this before the stream. Valand charges towards Deland Timp, his metallic limbs moving with precision. His phase sword gleams as it arcs towards Deland's neck. In a swift and calculated move, Deland parries the attack with his flaming sword, creating a clash of sparks that dazzles the audience. The force of the impact sends a shockwave through the arena's rocky ground, causing small pebbles to shatter. Both fighters stand their ground, showing no signs of fatigue or injury yet. The battle rages on. A glorious opening move. I'm sure the crowd is cheering. It is now Matthias' turn as Deland Timp. What will you do, Mr. Timp? You've hoarded every character people have submitted lately in live chat. Nice. Appreciate it, Plasma. Hopefully you'll be able to enter the arena today. I think you guys will find that ChatGPT presents a improvement in many areas, but as I say, I have misgivings about it may be slightly less like wildly creative, and if it is, I will fix it. I don't want this to be sterile and just formulaic. I want it to be exciting and creative. So if it isn't being creative enough, I will try to persuade it to be more creative, which I expect I can do. I have found that I have a decent amount of control over how it conducts itself, just by telling it what to do in the initial message. All right. There it is. Deland taunts Valent's weak attack before swinging his blade and unleashing a wave of pure meme fire at Valent. Deland sneers at Valent's initial attack, finding it lacking. With a triumphant grin, he swings his flaming sword in a wide arc, and from its blade erupts a searing wave of pure meme fire. That is one thing that this one does, is it tends to repeat my last prompt. I've asked it not to do that, but maybe I can make it do it less. Either way, The audience gasps at the bizarre and surreal images within the flames seem to twist and dance. Valent, caught off guard by the unexpected attack, attempts to dodge, but the fiery memes engulf him partially. He grits his teeth, feeling the searing heat and the bewildering thoughts that these memes stir within him. Valent bears signs of injury, his cybernetic limbs scorched and sparking. Fatigue begins to take its toll as he struggles to recover from the meme-infused assault. The battle continues, with Donald maintaining the upper hand. Valent, how will you retaliate to this horrific attack? This assault by the force of memes. I think, to a large extent, with this AI, we're relying on the quality of the characters a bit more than we were with the last one, because the last one was just nuts. But that nuttiness had its ups and its downs. I think we'll get a lot less of the downs in this one, and I may be able to convince it to insert more ups later. Well, Bright, you can have a force of unforced memes. Force in that context has two different senses, I guess. Matthias, I'm considering dropping the rule on using actual words in the name. I think it is a bit better if you do, but it's kind of awkward, and maybe it's not worth the effort. I think the issue is just if someone picks like I don't know, like the god Yahweh or something, like it's going to bias the AI into thinking it is actually that character from mythos or from some story or whatever, and that it will then insert powers onto it that seem appropriate. Like if someone chooses Iron Man as their character, the AI is not going to know that it's just a name. It's going to think I mean Iron Man. So that's why I say, like, maybe all I need to say is just don't use the name of an existing superheroic character. You can use a real life character, or a character that's not superpowered. But just don't use an existing superpower character's name, or something to imply one. Not sure. Alright, Libertine's turn. Summoning his remaining energy reserves, Valent channels his technological prowess into a powerful surge of electricity. A crackling wave of energy shoots forth, aimed directly at Donald Timp. The crowd watches in amazement as the electric charge crackles and arcs through the air. Deland, caught off guard by his sudden electrical assault, tries to raise his flaming sword as a shield. However, the sheer force of the electrical surge overwhelms him. Lightning courses through his body, causing him to convulse momentarily. As the electricity subsides, Deland staggers back, his clothes singed, and his body twitching. Valent's counterattack has left its mark, and both fighters are now visibly fatigued and injured, the battle's outcome hanging in the balance. A strong retort, and now both fighters seem far more equal. I will say, chat, that the use of magic powers or abilities, I have explicitly told the AI, wear your character out. They may make your character exhausted. And if your character is completely exhausted and still tries to cast magic, it starts damaging them physically. Basically using health as a resource when mana runs out, if you like. So just be aware of that. Now, I don't think maybe the electricity and the flaming sword or the memes, they probably do count as magical powers, actually, or as abilities. Chase seems to be implying that he can enter one of the fights today. That'll be good to see. We could have Chase versus Libertine, or Chase versus anyone. Teaching the AI wizard battles rules. Yeah, not far off. Yeah, I would like to mix I don't want it to just be throw in an idea and let the AI decide your fate. I want there to be some sort of determinism to it. Some degree of if that should work, it almost certainly will. And so having that sort of, it's a limit, but it's more like a game mechanic than a limit. Having that in there, I think will make it a bit more interesting. It'll also put an upper limit on the duration of the battles. I could also put something in there like, special events can have any effect, including reinvigorating the fighters or adding more fighters to the arena, with a few exceptions like breaking the walls or something. Yes, Plasma. Someone should make a garlic bread wizard, for sure. Deland stabs his blade into the ground, summoning meme flames to surround Valent before closing in on him. Deland plants his flaming sword. I'll skip the bit that it's copied from me, basically. The bizarre and ever-shifting imagery of the memes creates a disorienting spectacle for both the audience and Valent. As the flames encircle him, Valent struggles to maintain his composure. He attempts to phase through the flames, but the meme magic interferes with his cybernetic systems, causing glitches and momentary shutdowns. The cyborg warrior monk is clearly on the brink of exhaustion. Deland, seizing the opportunity, advances on Valent, his flaming sword raised for a decisive strike. The crowd watches in anticipation as the battle reaches a critical juncture. Libertine, how will you respond? It seems like if you just sword, the person who attacked first will probably win. There needs to be a bit of strategy, I think, here. Yes, Plasma, I do like Orbus. Hopefully we'll see him again today. Maybe so bright. Doesn't have to be infinite garlic bread, but garlic bread wizard nonetheless. Very good, Zerman. As a reminder, it is preferable to use a square-shaped image for your fighter, but not necessary. You can use any shape. Square will fit in the boxes I have up there better, though. Garlock, that's pretty good. All right. Valent redirects his limited power into his jetpack and attempts to fly a safe distance away. Activating it just in time, the jetpack roars to life, propelling him away from the encircling meme flames and Deland Timp's impending strike. Valent manages to create some distance between himself and his opponent, but the effort takes a toll on his already exhausted body. The crowd watches in awe as he hovers in the air, his metallic form flickering with sparks of fading energy. Deland, frustrated by Valent's escape, clenches his flaming sword, preparing for the next phase of their battle. Both fighters are clearly showing signs of wear and tear, but the fight is far from over. He's escaped you, Matthias, dodged your attack, and now he hovers in the air, but I'm not sure he can hover there for long. What will you do? Not sure if your character has much of a ranged attack, besides perhaps the meme flames. See if you can reach him all the way up there. As a reminder, chat, if you want to take part but you don't have a fighter, if you look in the AI Battle Arenas channel, let me just link that for you. If you look in that channel, there are a bunch of threads at the bottom. Some of them are free to use characters, and if you want to participate in the games, just grab one of those fighters, get the name, description, and image, and then when I say it's time for a new round, pick your fighters, paste in a message into live chat that has the name, description, and image, and then people can vote on it. And if you get the most votes, then you will be able to play. It's easy enough to play, and there's no significant downsides to doing so, but there are upsides. Whoever wins, their current Cabal house gets 2,500 User coins, and they get to pick 2 more causes of their choice from the topic popularity system to boost by the same amount. Matthias is fighting for tomboys, which I can definitely respect. Deland relaxes his grip on his sword and unleashes scathing taunts at Valent. His words are as fiery as his weapon, aimed to wear down his opponent's spirit. Valent, hovering in the air, is subjected to Dellen's verbal assault. His taunts and insults chip away at his resolve, and his energy reserves continue to deplete. His metallic frame shows further signs of strain as it flickers intermittently. The audience watches in anticipation as the battle takes a psychological turn. Valent's response to Dellen's taunts will determine the course of this fight. Man just cast vicious mockery. Yes, he did. Apparently quite effective. I wouldn't have expected it. But hey, it is literally Donald Trump. Or cyber Donald Trump, I guess. And so perhaps it is to be expected that with mere words he can have a significant effect. You know, I did tell the AI to use 400 words maximum. I think it's gone over that every single time. 400 characters maximum. I think it's gone over that every single time so far. Yeah, shorter than the 400 characters. I think every one of these messages is longer. Maybe I should set it back down to 280. Still, they don't seem a bad length, really. One nice thing about novel AI is how easy it was to just like edit parts completely. With this, I couldn't remove only part of the AI's response. I'd need to regenerate the whole thing. But it shouldn't be too different. So I did tell the AI to include occasional creative events and side effects. It hasn't done that really yet, but it might do. Right, you can edit your own prompts on GPT. You don't think you can edit the AI's response, though. Not in a way it'll take into account. Alright, we are awaiting Libertine's turn. Valent, enraged by the taunts, jets down towards Dellen, seeking to strike him down. There was a grammar issue there, but I doubt it matters. Enraged by Dellen's taunts, his jetpack roaring with fury, he launches down towards Dellen. His phase sword crackles with energy as he aims to strike Dellen down with all his remaining strength. Dellen, taken aback by Valent's sudden assault, barely has time to react. He tries to raise his flaming sword in defense, but Valent's attack is swift and precise. With a resounding clash, Valent's phase sword finds its mark, striking Dellen's flaming sword and sending sparks flying. The force of the blow sends Dellen sprawling backwards, his grip on his sword loosening. Valent stands victorious for a moment, his exhausted and injured body trembling. Dellen lies on the ground, dazed and defeated, his meme magic extinguished. The audience erupts in a mix of cheers and gasps, witnessing the conclusion of the intense battle. Valent, though shattered and weary, has emerged as the victor in the arena. In the end, the power of very fast thing overcame meme magic this time. This time. A close battle for sure, but it is over. We shall certainly bring back on Matthias for an additional battle. But not straight away. Can't use the same fighter twice, though we can use the same player twice. However, I think as long as you're ready, Chase, we'll do Chase and Libertine the rematch. Chase using Orbites, which is still, I don't think it's spelt right, but never mind. And Libertine using whoever he wants, but possibly the same character so as to maintain the rematch completely. Chase, are you ready? Hello, Rogel. Oh, Rogel can't hear me. Ball. It is similar to Ball, actually. Rogel, it is actually kind of similar to Ball. Instead of it being like you use numbers to do a wizard battle, this is we use AI to do an anything battle. It's been pretty fun so far, I think. Okay, of course, Libertine. I forgot about that. Libertine wants to support, I believe, Amuleth. Yep, Amuleth, Ava Picky, and Spiral. Not sure what you mean by that, Chase. But Chase and Libertine, please post the fighter you wish to use. Libertine, if you want to use Valent again, just tell me so, and I don't need to change anything. Rogel, have a look in the channel I'm about to link you. Have a look in there. There are rules. I know you're not one for reading, really, so don't worry too much about that, but observe how other people play for a bit and get the gist of it. And then when you're ready, have a look at the bottom of that channel. There's a bunch of threads. There are some free-to-use characters, so pick one of those and you can enter that fighter into the arena. All right, Libertine is going to use Valent. I need to change that. No worries, Rogel. Chase, when you're ready, post the details for your fighter. I don't have them to hand currently, and I don't know which version of the fighter you want to use. Right. While Chase goes and fetches his character, maybe I will put do a little tweak to the text here. All right, Chase, got it. Let's do one more battle with that.
Did it post?
I have it, yeah.
Okay, give me a second. I need to restart my Discord because it's not loading anything, any messages.
No worries, I have it. So. Let me enter the stuff into here, and then we're ready to go.
Just give me a minute on restart, second, restarting Discord.
Right. We are ready to start the battle. Chase, are you ready? Warmack, as far as I know, there's no paying involved for any of this unless you want to contribute. The characters, if you have a look at the channel I linked, there's details there. The characters, the rules are you have to use character art that was either made for these games or that you prompted yourself. And you have to have permission to use it if it's someone else's. And the threads in that channel, the free-to-use characters are ones that people have made where they've explicitly stated anyone can use this for the AI battles. Some of the others, people haven't explicitly stated that.
I'm back, but Discord is not letting me see any messages.
That's odd, Chase.
Yeah.
You could do a Control-R and reload Discord. Yes, Warmech. Free as in licensing, rather than free as in money. Did that help, Chase? Libertine, are you ready? All right, Chase. If you're still having the tech issue, we could do a different battle for now. And save yours for when it's fixed. It would be good to see a rematch of those two fighters again. I think I can't remember who won before. It might have been Chase, but I think it was a long battle, wasn't it? It was a close one. It was you, Libertine. Okay. I'm thinking of a different battle. Maybe it wasn't a long one. It was a one that was over too quickly. Chase may be having a foreign internet moment. I'm typing for a few minutes. All right. We'll give Chase a minute or two to be ready. Otherwise, we will give him time to solve whatever it is and do a battle with Libertine versus someone else, or perhaps two other people. Given Libertine did just go, we'll let people vote. But I am ready on this end for the Libertine versus Chase battle. Libertine, if Chase suddenly gets back, then they will have posted it for nothing. I suppose we could reference back to it later. So, I suppose, yes, since Chase is questionably here or not, chat, post your fighters, and if we do end up doing Libertine versus Chase now, then whoever gets the most votes right now will be on next. So post your fighters, and also put reactions on fighters that you want to see in the arena. I think 8-Bit Piggy had art made. I can't remember if 8-Bit actually fought in the arena yet. So remember, when posting your fighter, just post a message that has the name, description, and image in the message. And then people will put a reaction on it. Any kind of positive reaction will be a thumbs up to vote for it. Chase is gone again, so I assume his tech issue has taken over. Who will challenge Libertine? Zenman, are you going to send your Garlock into the arena? Plasma, perhaps Orbis? I assume you're still not at your PC, Plasma, or at least not where you can do it properly. Understood, Sam, man. You're at work, Plasma. Fun. Well, until Chase gets back, it may be time for Bright to wheel out Delta. It may be a good idea to start doing these with more audience commentary. Not sure yet. I think this there's a lot of potential to this formula, but maybe a lot of things can change. True, Bright has also entered fighters since we started this new set. Can do, Rogel, but you don't need to spend a lot of effort on character creation. You can use existing characters as long as they're in the free-to-use sections. You can just use one of those as they are now. Welcome back, Chase. Are you ready, Chase? Okay. Chase is apparently ready to go. Good. We'll go with that then. We will go as planned with Chase versus Libertine. Libertine versus Chase. Valent versus Orbites. Send the initial message. In the arena, Valent, the cyborg warrior monk of the Technomancers, stands opposite Orbites, the barbarian shaman with mystical orbs. The arena is a sprawling, overgrown jungle filled with ancient trees and tangled vines, offering both cover and obstacles. Pools of shimmering water glisten throughout, hiding lurking dangers beneath their calm surface. As the audience eagerly awaits the battle, Valent and Orbites exchange a few words. Valent's metallic voice resonates through the arena's speakers. Orbites, this battle shall test our skills and resilience. May the best fighter emerge victorious. Orbites, his eyes gleaming with shamanic energy, responds with a fierce grin. Valent, I've communed with the spirits of this jungle. They favor me today. Prepare for a fight like no other. With their words exchanged, the tension in the arena mounts. The battle is about to begin. Let's roll for who's starting. It looks like Orbites is starting first, and Valent has a free redo on his turn. Let me know when you want to use it. Chase, enter your turn. Rogel, idea's good. But you would need to make your own AI art for this, which is, I don't know if you have something ready to make that. There are free online tools to do it. I'm sure you could find one. But if you don't want to do that, you could use one of the existing free-to-use characters. If you wanted to play in the arena. Alright, this is a battle for honor between Orbos and Amuleth. For honor, and quite a lot of User coins. What do you reckon, chat? Chase and Libertine, while you're typing your thing, press 1 if you would like to double the reward for this game from 2,500 User coins to 5,000 User coins. Both of you are okay with it? We've upped the stake. Let's do it. Orbites will summon the cosmic orbs and attempt to unleash the spirits of the forest upon Valent. One or two quick corrections upon with a U, and I will change will to summons. I'm going to be a little bit less harsh with requiring you to type in something which is an attempt, because I've told the AI explicitly that it gets to choose whether you succeed or not. Now, whether that's going to work, I don't know, but we'll try it. So, Orbites summons the cosmic orbs and attempts to unleash the spirits of the forest upon Valent. He gestures towards the ancient trees, calling upon the spirits of the forest. A rush of power surges through him as the jungle seems to respond, leaves rustling and unseen forces gathering. Valent, ever vigilant, swiftly activates his phase sword, its blade humming with charged energy. He attempts to disrupt the spiritual connection Orbites is forging, sending arcs of crackling energy towards the orb and the shaman. The orbs flicker and dim for a moment, but Orbites manages to maintain his concentration. The forest spirits, though hindered, remain at his beck and call, ready to strike. Valent, on the other hand, starts to show signs of strain. The exertion of disrupting Orbites' magic has taken a toll, and fatigue sets in. His movements become slightly slower, and a faint crack appears on the surface of his cybernetic arm. The audience watches in hushed anticipation as the battle escalates. It seems the spirits of the forest sapped your energy, so that one attack you used was far more draining than it should have been. That's what we're going with anyway. It is now your turn, Libertine. Yeah, Rogel, just tell Pixar what your idea is, and he'll make you a bit of art. He's offered to anyway. I've noticed that the outputs are getting longer from the AI. Granted, it's writing decent stuff. I feel like it could be a bit more brief, but maybe this is okay for now. I was thinking that we could try the idea of doing 2 players per fighter this time, but I had new stuff already, so I figured we'll do that next time. We'll see how this AI works out for us this time. Maybe I can find some way to weave in some Cabal lore with this system. I'm not sure exactly how. Valent, seeing that the forest spirits are against him, missed an eye, but that's okay, uses his jetpack to fly above the tress and sets fire to the forest. How could you? Valent, recognizing the unfavorable situation with the forest spirits, activates his jetpack with a burst of propulsion, soaring above the tangled canopy of trees. He's ignited a controlled stream of flames from his wrist-mounted flamethrower. The jungle below erupts into a blaze as the trees and vines catch fire, creating a ring of raging flames that encircles the arena. The audience gasps at the spectacle of the once lush forest, now engulfed in an inferno. Orbites, caught off guard by Valent's fiery assault, frantically summons a protective barrier of swirling orbs to shield himself from the searing heat. The spirits he called upon earlier retreat, disturbed by the chaos below. Looks like it worked. Valent's cyborg body starts showing signs of stress from the exertion. His internal systems struggle to maintain stability under the strain of the jetpack and flamethrower. Smoke and steam vent from his damaged arm as he descends to a lower altitude, seeking cover amidst the scorched battleground. The battle takes a hazardous turn as both fighters face the consequences of their actions. So, setting fire to the forest certainly drove away the spirits, and it's put Orbites on the back foot. But you've also set fire to the only place you can land, and with your fatigue, you may need to land soon. We could do Plasma versus Matthias as Trump next. Orbites charges the cosmic orbs to enhance his body, hoping that it will allow him to assault Valent. This energy surges through him, augmenting his physical abilities and empowering his magical prowess. With newfound strength, Orbites charges towards Valent, orbs orbiting him like guardian spirits. He hurls the orbs in Valent's direction, the magical projectiles trailing ethereal streaks of energy. Valent, weakened by his previous actions, and with his cyborg body showing increasing signs of fatigue, struggles to evade the onslaught of empowered magical orbs. One of them grazes his shoulder, leaving a smoldering mark. The audience watches in suspense as Valent's defenses are tested, and the fiery battleground becomes a chaotic clash of technology and mysticism. Battle continues to rage, and it is pretty well matched between the two. They are both fairly even. Is there some advantage Libertine has found that he's able to exploit now? I suppose having I suppose having a 3-player battle would mean potentially less time waiting, because the actions would depend less on the turn that's just happening. Someone could write an action based on the turn that was 2 before theirs, and then modify it slightly, so slightly more time. But I'm not sure. Ultimately, there is going to be a delay because each person needs to react to the thing that just happened. So that is the biggest challenge, biggest difficulty is the thinking time. I understand that it's not easy to come up with good answers that quickly. So I do appreciate where you guys are coming from. Perhaps there's some way that we can do this that requires less input from you guys. Not sure. There probably is. I have the beginnings of many ideas of other ways that we can use this tech to do some interesting stuff. Valent looks for a safe place to land and recharge his reserve power sources. With the relentless assault of Orbity's charged orbs, Valent realizes the urgency of his situation. He scans the scorched arena for a safe haven, seeking a moment of respite to recharge his dwindling power sources. Spotting a thick grove of charred trees with relatively intact cover, Valent guides his jetpack towards it, landing amidst the smoldering remains. He immediately begins the process of recharging his reserve power sources, connecting his cybernetic components to the energy outlets within his hidden compartments. As he initiates the recharge sequence, Valent's movements slow, and his phase sword temporarily powers down. He remains vulnerable, hoping that the brief moment of recovery will be enough to withstand Orbity's relentless assault. The audience watches, breathless, as the battle reaches a critical turning point. Chase, will you manage to take advantage of this situation with your opponent vulnerable, recharging? Can you get to him in time? Can the orbs prevail? Or will those 5,000 User coins be going to Amulet today? Libertine, you probably will actually take notice of the fact that you've recharged like that. I haven't tested that yet, but it probably will. I imagine if someone picked like a healing character, the healing might work. As I said, like this AI seems to be more stable and structured and sensible than the other one, which is, again, upsides and downsides. It's a more predictable fight, but that also means it's less nonsensical, which means that it may be less fun for the audience, actually, which is worth considering. I may change it as a result, but it is more fun, I expect, for the players. It's actually more competitive than it was before. I may try on the next go around, instructing it to always try and come up with some interesting side effect or new event that occurs. I would like to stop it from basically repeating my prompt back at me at the beginning of each of its responses. I'll try to do that though. Orbites gives a speech denoting his over-reliance on technology and uses the orbs to blast energy beams towards Valent. I'm going to change his here to Valent's just to make sure it doesn't get that confused. His words echoing through the arena. Valent, you rely too heavily on your machines. True strength comes from within, from the spirits and the world around us, says the man using orbs as a focus. Never mind. As Orbites delivers his impassioned message, he channels the enhanced power of the cosmic orbs to concentrated energy beams. With a sweeping motion of his arms, he releases a volley of searing beams towards Valent, each one pulsating with ethereal force. Valent, still in the midst of recharging his power sources, attempts to react but is caught off guard by Orbity's renewed assault. One of the energy beams pierces through the remnants of the tree cover, striking Valent's chest with a forceful impact. The cyborg warrior monk staggers backwards, smoke and sparks emanating from his damaged chest plate. Signs of severe injury are evident as his systems malfunction and fail. The audience watches in awe as the battle takes a perilous turn, and Valent's dependence on technology becomes his greatest weakness. Libertine, how will you recover? Womack, there are instructions for the name. What I've recommended is that it can't be something with real words in it. Don't make it too long either. The other person will likely have to type it out. Probably so, Plasma. Yeah. Plasma, don't tell Verdant I told you this, but the funny thing about Cyber Zhu there is it wasn't actually originally intended as Cyber Zhu that he then changed to Cyber Zhu because to fit into my system. Cyber Zhu is some sort of like Cyber is I think that, but not from my system. That's from before my system. The Jew part is just something I say to fuck with him. It was never intended as a Jew. I assume the J-O-U means something else in Japanese. I think that's what he's referring to. Ormek, generally you should have one character, not a pair. I'll accept a pair if their gimmick is very funny and they will be staying together, or they're designed to work physically attached to each other, like one on the other's back. I'll maybe accept that. But generally just try and keep it to one character, if I've interpreted your message correctly, which I may have misunderstood. You saw President Adams' romance novel. I did. Who was that with? Was that with Nathaniel? Yeah, there was a dragon riding a dragon. Oh, you've made two, no double team. Okay, that's fine. Yeah. When next round comes up and I ask people to post their fighters, go ahead and post yours and we'll see who gets the most reactions. And then that person will, the two with the most will go into the arena. The Fish Wizard Fizzard, okay. Is Libertine's turn. And a very urgent moment in the battle. Valent, seeing that the battle is turning against him, redirects the little power left in his system and fires a laser towards Orbites. Miss an F in left, but that's fine. Left. No. Orbites, momentarily surprised by Valent's unexpected counterattack, attempts to erect a protective barrier with his orbs. However, the laser's intensity pierces through, striking Orbites directly. The shaman cries out in pain as the beam scorches his chest, leaving a smoldering mark. Both combatants are now gravely injured, their energy spent, and their bodies showing the strain of the prolonged battle. The audience watches in stunned silence as the battle reaches its climax, with neither fighter willing to yield. Wow, pretty close to the end here. Now remember, if you try and use abilities or magic when you're exhausted, it will start doing physical damage to yourself. I don't know if the AI is going to interpret that sensibly, but it might be that you cast a spell, it misses, and you faint because the spell caused enough damage to you. So when you're exhausted, I would be careful casting magic or any kind of abilities. You might be better off just using your fists. We'll see. A lot of this is untested. I haven't used this AI before. Not for this, anyway. I am, by the way, open to suggestions on other ways that we can use this AI. What I'd really like to do is find a way to combine this AI and its ability to tell stories and come up with meaningful things, combine that with Cabal lore. Maybe we can come up with a way of making parts of Cabal lore into a story, into some sort of campaign or some sort of challenge for the audience to face. And we could have something like a stream where audience members submit a choice of something to do in the story, and then people can vote on it, and the one that gets the most votes is used. Something like that. Still get the issue of waiting for actions, but maybe we can make it work somehow. As I said, I have the beginnings of many ideas for this. Orbites gives a feral smile and calls upon his own spirit and jumps into the fray once more. Despite his injuries, Orbites charges forward, the cosmic orbs circling him like guardian spirits once more. He closes the distance between him and Valent, determined to make a final, decisive strike. Valent, weakened and wounded, struggles to defend himself against Orbites' renewed assault. His phase sword flickers to life, but his movements are sluggish and unsteady. The arena trembles with anticipation as the fighters clash once more, their fates hanging in the balance. No one's been downed yet, but it may happen any moment. it is Libertine's turn. It's hard to tell if it was going to give you credit for recharging, Libertine, because you were hit, damaged while doing that. Ooh, going for the weak point. Valent drives his sword towards Orbity's chest. With his last reserves of strength, he musters all his remaining energy and lunges forward, driving his phase sword towards Orbity's chest. The blade hums with deadly intent as it cuts through the air. Orbites, though empowered by his inner spirit, is unable to evade the precise strike. The phase sword pierces through his chest, and a look of shock crosses his face as the searing energy of the weapon courses through him. Both fighters stand locked in that moment, their fates sealed. The audience watches in silence as Orbity's life force wanes, and Valent, battered and broken, emerges as the victor of this intense, drawn-out battle. The arena is filled with a mixture of awe and reverence for the tenacity and skill displayed by these evenly matched combatants. No, Chase, his action says towards. You know, driving the sword is not challenging. Hitting you is, but he drove it towards the chest, and the AI decided that you didn't dodge it, he didn't miss. So I'm afraid so. I'm afraid that's it. It was hard fought, and Chase got the upper hand early, but it was leapfrog after that. Each turn was setting each person ahead of the other, and in the end, Valent went for the killing strike with the last of his energy, and it worked. A close, tough battle, but the points go to Amuleth. Libertine, you've won 2 in a row. That's very impressive. What would you like to support alongside Amuleth for 5,000 user coins? 8-bit Picky and Spiral. 8-bit Picky is already kitten, by the way. You can't make her any more of a kitten, but you can, of course, maintain her kittenhood. It is done. She's a long way ahead of anyone else now. Kitten maintenance, indeed. Right. That's that sorted. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is our second battle of the night. I think Chase and Libertine should maybe have another fight at the end of the evening, if they're both free and willing. Another rematch may be in order, but we'll see. That is up to them. For now, though, chat, post your fighters, and everyone else vote on the fighters you want to see in the arena. Wig has posted what appears to be a tomboy knight. I expect that might be popular. We will find out. Deland Timp and Presser Madam H, representing Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, are back as options. Maybe it is time for their greatest battle. Not their first, but their greatest. In case you missed it earlier, chat, I am running on very little sleep, so today is planned to be a relatively short stream. Alright, we'll give it another 30 seconds, and then the fighters shall be selected of just whoever has the most votes. Anyone else who wants to submit a fighter, you still have time. If you are attempting to submit a fighter but aren't ready yet, you can press 1, and I shall extend the time until you have posted yours. Although I understand pressing 1 will be difficult if you're currently trying to type in the fighter's details. Yeah, that's fine, Rogel. That's fine. Twesticular. Twesticular. Twarsian. Remember, Rogel, they don't have to be wizards, but you're welcome to make a wizard. Rogel, are you planning to submit a character for this round? To be fair, it's already 5 votes for Hillary and Trump, so I think they're going to go in. Hot Lady Knight will have her day, I am sure. But this match looks like it's going to be Presser Madam H versus Deland Timp. Chat, give me a moment to load up the fighters. So, President Madam H, conducted by Plasma. Versus Deland Timp, conducted by Matthias. It'd be good to automate this, the process of entering everything, but it's definitely possible. But it wouldn't be trivial to get that working. Right, there you go. I think that's everything. Oh, just the images. All right, chat. Are we about ready? Fighters, Plasma and Matthias, are you both ready to commence? That looks good, Chase. I look forward to seeing that next round. Or soon, anyway. All right. Next battle. Plasma versus Matthias. President Madam H versus Deland Timp. In the arena, a sprawling labyrinthine catacomb known as the Mystic Mausoleum. President Madam H and Deland Timp stand poised for battle. The ancient stone walls are adorned with intricate runes, and the floor is scattered with cryptic symbols, creating an eerie atmosphere. Massive stone pillars rise from the ground, forming a maze of obstacles, while ethereal torches illuminate the arena. President Madam H, adorned in resplendent robes, gazes at her adversary. Deland Timp, your time has come, she declares with a calm, authoritative tone. Deland Timp, gripping his flaming sword, smirks confidently. President Madam H, your Nexus powers won't save you today, he retorts, his voice resonating with determination. The audience watches in hushed anticipation as the two sworn enemies prepare for a battle of immense proportions in the arcane arena. It looks like Plasma, playing as President Madam H, is going first, which means Matthias has one free redo. On your turn, you can ask me to regenerate the AI's response, and it's likely to be different. Significantly different. Plasma, take your turn when you're ready. How will President Madam H start the battle? Matthias, I removed Spire's logo for now. The intended purpose of it is not the purpose it ended up having. I don't think it was on there for long enough to satisfy the fact that I kept saying that would be the consequence. So it isn't anymore. Just the leader gets a special icon currently. The entire houses system has been a good experiment. Many things worked, few things didn't, and that's one of them. The fact that we got the obvious two-party Pareto distribution is part of the problem, and that's why I didn't want to continue needlessly punishing Spire with the icon. I understand, Matthias, I understand. It's not quite how I intended it to work, though. I think the Pareto distribution two-party system thing wouldn't have been anywhere near as strong if not for the unfortunate, unexpected consequence of Wes completely denouncing the system and Outreach not really taking any interest in the system. The former I didn't understand, I didn't expect rather. The latter I expected was fairly likely, but I thought there was a chance that they would. So I think in future I shall design a system that takes these into account. I have many ideas of how to improve it, so keep an eye on Cabal chat. So you may see a lot of new features coming in soon. I appreciate it, Rogel. I'm happy to discuss it more and certainly show you when the new stuff is ready. I didn't like it. Okay, Zane, understood. So, yes, Zane, I saw this. Plasma, while you're fighting, do you want to tell us why why you've blocked Zane? You don't have to. It's up to you. No, not really. Okay, all right. You don't have to. He's annoying. All right. Right. Present Madam H smiles and cackles. Come for a rematch, Deland, she says, tapping her waist as her body flickers purple with her energy shield. Deland Timp's eyes narrow as Present Madam H's energy shield shimmers to life. I've waited centuries for this, he replies, igniting his flaming sword. The blade crackles with a fiery intensity. With a determined stride, Present Madam H advances, her energy shield shimmering brilliantly. Deland Timp readies himself, his sword's flames dancing in anticipation. The audience watches in awe as the stage is set for their long-awaited rematch. Maybe I should add something to the prompt that says, add a random backstory connection for these two characters. Or, at random, don't. Leave them strangers. And we could have this happen automatically, or of course by what you guys type in, we can imply certain history with these characters, which I'm fine with, by the way. That's one thing I'm very unlikely to adjudicate, is if you try and add history in your turn prompt, as long as it's not too self-serving. It is now Matthias' turn. What will Deland Timp do? I'm tempted to allow you guys to just call them like Cyber Hillary Clinton and Cyber Donald Trump and just see if the AI does anything differently. Maybe, I mean, like, we're using the AI for a purpose where, like, modern cultural political bias is not likely to matter. But if we start using Hillary and Trump, it might start to matter. So it'd be interesting to see what that does, but not the kind of bias I'm hoping for, really. All right. I remember how our last match ended. Has the orphan blood not been enough to help your memory? Deland declares, willing into existence flames of truth, showing all the atrocities committed by Present Madam H to surround them. The arena is engulfed in a blaze of truth, revealing haunting images of past atrocities committed by Present Madam H. Her expression falters, and she winces as the memories resurface. The audience gasps in shock at the vivid display. Present Madam H clenches her fists, trying to maintain her composure. I've paid for my past. She responds with a steely resolve, her energy shield flickering in defiance. Mostly she's paid other people to kill the people that revealed her past, but never mind that. Deland Timp narrows his eyes, maintaining the fiery display of truth. Words won't absolve you, he retorts, his flaming sword's intensity increasing. The arena crackles with tension as the fighters confront their shared history, locked in a battle not just of physical prowess, but of moral reckoning. It's getting serious now. It is conducting the battles very, in a very coordinated and reasonable way. But I might ask it next round. I'm going to try next round, I think. We'll try. Remind me if I forget. I'm going to try telling it to deliberately be more creative and more chaotic and try and get it to do some interesting off-the-wall stuff. It was all I could do to get novel AI to be somewhat sensible. This one, I think I prefer starting at sensible and then moving into chaotic, rather than starting at chaotic and trying desperately to wrest some sense out of it. Though I don't think I ever tried to put quite as much effort into controlling novel AI as I have here. Maybe I should consider that. Then again, it's way easier to use this one. The free version of this it generates quickly, and I don't think it's limited. We await Plasma's turn. The Prezimadam reaches out, saying, "Stop wasting my time, you pyrite-head goon," to launch Deland away hard with psychic force. Prezimadam H extends her hand, channeling her psychic power. With a forceful gesture, she sends a surge of energy hurtling towards Deland Timp, who is propelled backwards through the air. He crashes into one of the stone pillars with a resounding thud, momentarily stunned. Deland Timp struggles to regain his footing, his flaming sword flickering erratically as he shakes off the effects of the psychic assault. Signs of fatigue begin to show on both fighters as the battle intensifies. The audience watches in amazement as the display of power in the Mystic Mausoleum. I'm going to make a couple of changes to the way I've told it to conduct itself. Do that, and then chat, we're back. So that was Plasma's turn last. It is now Matthias's turn. Deland quickly dashes at Prezimadam H, swinging his blade to try to swiftly end his opponent, pouring a great amount of his power into the blade. "You belong in prison," he declares. Deland Timp charges towards Prezimadam H with his flaming sword raised high, pouring immense power into the blade. The flaming sword's aura intensifies, leaving a trail of blazing light in its wake. He swings the weapon with great precision, aiming to bring an end to the battle. Rogel, just wait for the next round and then you can post it and people will vote on it. Prezimadam H, however, reacts swiftly. She raises her energy shield just in time, and the fiery blade clashes against the shimmering barrier with a deafening burst of sparks. The impact sends shockwaves through the arena, causing some of the stone pillars to tremble. Fatigue is evident on both fighters now, but the battle rages on. The audience watches with bated breath, uncertain of which adversary will emerge victorious in this heated confrontation within the Mystic Mausoleum. It's your turn. Plasma. Chat, who's your money on? Press D for Deland Timp. Press H for Prezimadam H. Who do you reckon is going to win this one? It has been H before. You're all voting Hillary. You may be correct, chat, but maybe this is the end of her winning streak. Are you sure? I'm not sure you can do that, Plasma. Nexus, send in the wizard. The President slaps her fingers as, with a bright electrical flash, Fizzard the fish conjurer appears. What happened with them? Were they, like, lovers? I tell you what, in order to make this fair, we're going to do this. Fizzard and Prezimadam are distant lovers. However, Fizzard has a great admiration for Deland Timp, who is conflicted. Are you okay with that, Plasma? Able to get back into a romance novel, yeah, that's a good point. Okay, are you okay with that? Fizzard and the President are recent lovers, however, Fizzard has a great admiration for Deland Timp, and so is conflicted. I don't want you to just be able to say, ally. Just, I have an ally. Like, maybe I'm okay with that, but especially when it's an existing character. However, if when you bring it in, it's conflicted, that's maybe... I'll remove is conflicted. Let the AI figure that out for itself. So, lover should be stronger than admiration. So it is still in your interest. It's worth noting, Plasma, that successes in previous battles should not increase your likelihood of success in this battle. It's not like a serialized combat system. It's supposed to be a like one-on-one duel. So I think this is fair. It is in you. It is slightly to your benefit the way we described it. And you summoning it, the AI would assume it was your ally anyway, so it should be fine. With a brilliant electrical flash, Fizzard the Fish Conjurer materializes within the arena. His presence is met with gasps from the audience as they witness the arrival of a new player in this intense battle. Fizzard, though recently entangled in a romantic relationship with President H, maintains a deep admiration for Deland Timp. His appearance adds a complex layer to the ongoing conflict as he now finds himself torn between loyalty and respect. Deland Timp eyes Fizzard warily, his flaming sword still ablaze with power. The battlefield has become even more unpredictable, and the audience watches in astonishment, uncertain of how this unexpected twist will affect the outcome of the battle. Matthias, it is your turn. I think we're going to just see if the AI does anything with Fizzard itself. I'm not sure. Sure how it'll handle that. Plasma, you gonna try and control both characters? Are you trying to innovate and expand the concept surreptitiously, Plasma, unplanned? If Plasma, you were only going to take like an action with one of them at a time, that would be fairer than both, but also not that realistic. I think what would make it more sense is that if Pigsty plays him as not really a combatant, he's mostly just there for moral support and for comedy value, with the occasional fish hurled around. I think that would be the best way to do this. Next turn. Splitting his attention briefly, Delenn summons meme flames to surround Fizzard before swinging his swords to strike at the Prezimadam. Yeah, a couple of minor corrections there. Delenn Tim, split between the threats of both Prezimadam H and the newly arrived Fizzard, conjures meme flames that envelop Fizzard. The conjured flames form a barrier around the fish conjurer, creating a temporary shield. With the meme flames in place, Delenn redirects his focus to Prezimadam H. His flaming sword crackles with a renewed intensity as he swings it towards her, aiming to strike a decisive blow. Prezimadam H, caught off guard by the sudden shift in Delenn's tactics, attempts to raise her energy shield, but her hesitation proves costly. The flaming sword slices through the shield, and Delenn's strike lands, causing a searing burn on her side. The audience gasps as Prezimadam H staggers backwards, clutching her wound. Fatigue and injuries are taking their toll on both fighters, and the Mystic Mausoleum bears witness to a battle that hangs in the balance. Anything could happen now. Plasma's turn. I wonder how we could reduce the delay time. Maybe what we could do is, I could just invent a monster or a puzzle, just a single challenge that the AI will understand, tell it what that is, and then just give it your turns, however quickly you're able to generate new turns. So that it doesn't really matter. You don't have to keep waiting to see the latest event before you choose to do something. Each of you can work independently. Like I give you a puzzle that has like a lot of parts to it, like a large area where you could go into interact with different things, or a monster that has like, I don't know, many heads or something. So that different people can focus on different things, or can focus on the same thing, but where their actions don't depend strictly on each other's actions. Heal, requested Nexus. The Prezimadam bellows and pulls out her own beam sword, swinging to retaliate. Sometimes the AI does this. Sometimes it lets me pick between two options. In these cases, I would consider letting the audience choose, although the crop is hiding a lot of it. Sorry about that, Joe. I'd consider letting the audience choose, but it's going to take too long, so I think I will choose. These are long text, though. Maybe I should generally just go with option 1 to speed things along. But like this, I think, is why it's free, or why it's cheap. Cheaper than it maybe should be, because right now, by picking one of these, you are training the AI. Or flip a coin. We could do that. Yeah, let's for now, we'll just flip a coin, because I can't be asked to read both of these. One it is. Prezimadam... Oh, wait, is that... For some reason, it picked the wrong one. Or did it? I'm not sure. That's one, anyway. Prezimadam H's cry for healing echoes through the arena, and a soft, radiant light begins to envelop her, slowly mending her wound. However, the healing process leaves her momentarily vulnerable. With her beam sword in hand, she retaliates swiftly, swinging the weapon at Delenn Timp. The beam sword emits a brilliant energy-infused blade that cuts through the air with remarkable speed. Delenn, still dealing with the meme flames and a sudden assault from Prezimadam H, attempts to evade the attack, but the beam sword grazes his arm, leaving a sizzling burn. Signs of fatigue and injury become even more pronounced on both fighters as they press on in this grueling battle within the Mystic Mausoleum. Funnily enough, I asked the AI to, describe any signs of fatigue and injury, and instead of saying, with a bloodied nose, or with a slight limp, or with a dirtied face, or tired from the battle even. Instead of those things, it's just repeating what I asked it to say, which is signs of injury and fatigue. Signs of injury and fatigue, every time the same thing. Yeah, exactly, Plasma. So I have already actually rewritten the prompt I'll be using for the next one, to see if that helps. Sure fought otaku. Very good, Wig. a man of considerable bulk. And this is another fighter for potentially next round. Weapon is his club, fist, and feet. A melee fighter has the power to deflect magic and arguments, weakness to technology, transvestites, and criticism. Unpopular with his allies. That's good, Wig. That probably will get votes. We'll see. It is now Matthias' turn, I think. We may be nearing the end. Yes, Matthias has a turn for us. Summoning the flames of truth again, Deland wills them to attack Presa Madam H and make her relive the pain she's caused others. Presa Madam H cries out in anguish, her concentration faltering as her memories of her past transgressions flood her mind. The audience watches in stunned silence as she struggles to maintain her composure. Despite the torment, Presa Madam H remains determined. She grips her beam sword tightly and tries to retaliate, but her movements are slowed by the mental and emotional burden imposed by the flames of truth. Deland Timp seizes the opportunity to press his advantage in this relentless battle within the Mystic Mausoleum. Gaining the upper hand on his turn, Matthias is stunned and horrified. Presa Madam H. How will she respond to this? Pigsty, you could type a term for Fizzard. Sure, we might as well. Go for it. I'll let you, Pigsty, I'll let you do turns out of order as long as they are not clearly favoring one fighter over the other. I may also prioritize the actual fighters' turns if they're posted at roughly the same time. I did say 140 character limit for the character description, yes. Perhaps I should extend it to more than 140. Let me see exactly how long that description is. Oh, it's 140. No, it's 206 characters. 206 characters. That is more. But the thing is, looking at that, I don't see what should be removed. That seems reasonable. Maybe I will extend the character limit. So, okay, chat. For the rest of the stream, if you want to, you can have 240 rather than 140. It may be that is just a more appropriate number to use. You're not going to be significantly disadvantaged if you already have 140. If anyone who is using 140 objects to fighting against someone who's using 240, then we'll accept that rejection. That's fine. NTS, I don't plan on going for very much longer, probably only about half an hour. If you're enjoying these, by the way, chat, and you'd like to encourage me to do them more, remember that how often I do them is dependent on how much they're appreciated, and that's judged partly by contributions. So I put the links in chat there. I appreciate it greatly. Sadly, I can't offer Boomercam or extended stream tonight. As I said earlier, I'm already very tired starting this. I wanted to just do something tonight. And I have not set up the Boomercam tonight. But I will for next time. So I can't offer those two rewards, but the same rewards, as always, are still on the table. You can support things in the topic popularity system. You could determine who the kitten should be. And you can support the house of your choice. All right, Plasma has given a turn. Oops, that's the wrong option. The Presa Madam cackles loudly and says, "You still have it even today. Now die," and pulls out her sidearm and fires repeatedly at Deland. You still have it even today. Now die. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Plasma. I would just put a comma wig after tech. That's the only thing. You still got it. Oh, okay. All right. I may change the wording. I'll leave it actually. We'll see what the AI thinks it means. Deland, still grappling with the torment of the flames of truth. I assume it means grappling as in, like, creating them? Maintaining them? Struggles to evade the sudden onslaught. He manages to partially deflect, thank you Libertine, partially deflect some of the shots with his flaming sword, but several rounds strike true, leaving scorch marks and burns on his body. Both fighters are now visibly battered and fatigued, their resources dwindling as they exchange blows and projectiles in the chaotic clash. The audience watches in awe as the battle in the Mystic Mausoleum reaches a critical juncture, with neither combatant willing to yield. Libertine says, Amuleth, I like the AI fights. Good, I'm glad to hear it. I think some people do, but it is a more rarefied preference in Cabal. Not so rarefied, though, that it's not worth putting these on every now and again, so thank you for the contribution. I may next Wednesday hold a vote, and if the AI battles gets enough votes, not even necessarily the most, just enough, then I may continue to do it once per week. But at some point I may switch to once every other week. I suspect that the legs this concept has is somewhere between 1 week and 2 weeks. Perhaps we can improve it by improving how it actually runs. But the main issue right now is the time taken to take turns, and that is probably non-negotiable because it's completely understandable that people would take time to take their turns. The only thing I could do to fix that is something like run 2 battles concurrently, and that's going to get really awkward. I can't think of any other way to do it, unless we deliberately have like an off-topic thing that we do while we're waiting. We'd have to think of something though. Plasma has an idea. Rogel, that sounds good to me. If the output gets put in the chat fast while you're reading, the next player can type. I guess so, but the player would have to read what comes out of the chat before responding to it. And they would be reading it a little bit faster than I'm saying it, but not a huge amount faster. It would make a small difference, yeah. It's one more thing for me to remember to do, though. Yeah, no, I agree, Plasma. I think the time saved there may be worth less than the effort it takes me to do the pace, especially since I'm supposed to be reading it as soon as it arrives for the benefit of the audience. I'm sure we could automate it, Plasma, in principle. Lots and lots of this stuff can be automated in principle, but because it's such a new idea, and I have so many coding projects I need to do, it's not a super high priority. However, if you wanted to do it, I'd be happy with that. But it may be a good idea to stick on one project at once. I'm curious to see how that Cabal card game works out. Oh, Fizzard had a turn. All right, hold on. Thank you, Matthias, for pointing that out. It is after that Matthias' turn. Fizzard buys a coffee mug for coffee is spelled with 2. From Deland and attempts to woo Professor Madam H with a fresh summoned barracuda cooked with 8 cloves of garlic, served on an old tin platter. In the midst of the intense battle, Fizzard approaches Professor Madam H, offering a coffee mug purchased from Deland. He's giving the mug to her. She glances at it briefly, puzzled by the unexpected gesture. But before she can respond, Fizzard conjures a fresh barracuda, expertly cooked with garlic. Garlic got in here somehow. And presents it on an old tin platter. The aroma wafts through the arena, momentarily distracting both fighters. Professor Madam H raises an eyebrow at Fizzard's efforts, a hint of amusement in her eyes. An unusual time for culinary pursuits, she remarks, her guard momentarily lowered. Deland Timp, though taken aback by the turn of events, watches with a mixture of confusion and curiosity. The audience, equally bewildered, can't help but appreciate the bizarre interlude in the midst of the battle within the Mystic Mausoleum. Thank you for that turn. Matthias, if you want to change your turn in response to what just happened, you're welcome to. Otherwise, I shall send what you just sent. Yeah, Plasma. So, is that one good, Matthias? Are you ready for me to send that? Okay. Drawing strength from his people's belief in him. I will do from his people's belief in him. Derland gathers all his... That is fine. Drawing strength. Oh, okay. We'll and again, for swiftness' sake, we'll do another roll to see which one of these we use. And it is... Uh-oh. My bot's not responding. My bot's broken. Oh no. That's kind of weird, actually. Not sure why that's happened. Right, the bot itself is actually stuck. It may come unstuck. Well, never mind. I will, yeah, bot literally down. Alright, what can I flip that's coin-like in proximity? This I can flip. So that end is 1. That end is 2. Alright, 2 it is. Derland Timp, fueled by the collective belief of his people. That's a good idea, Plasma, actually. Channels every ounce of his meme magic into one decisive strike. His flaming sword pulses with an unprecedented intensity, casting a brilliant glow across the arena. Wait. Equals tech issue didn't work? Is that... Oh, never mind. It's not Zane's bot. With a determined roar, Deland lunges towards Madam H and Fizzard, aiming to end the battle once and for all. The force of his attack is overwhelming, leaving no room for escape. Madam H, realizing the gravity of the situation, raises her beam sword in a last-ditch effort to defend herself and Fizzard. Fizzard, startled by the sudden turn of events, attempts to summon a protective barrier with all the energy he can muster. The clash between Deland's onslaught of meme magic and Madam H's desperate defense creates a blinding explosion of energy, sending shockwaves throughout the Mystic Mausoleum. The audience watches in awe and suspense as the fate of the fighters hangs in the balance. So it looks like they're all hit by this. Perhaps the defense was just about enough. But what the consequences are, we don't know exactly yet. It's caught up. It is... Yes, it is your turn, Plasma. If Pigsty takes a turn, like tries to do something, we'll allow that, but I will, as I said, prioritize any turns sent by the actual players if they're close by timing-wise. So when it's sent, that is. Now, re-roll. Oh, Matthias, you want to do a re-roll? Okay. Hold on a second, Plasma then. Matthias, did you actually go second? I can find out very quickly. Deland Timp. That is your character, Matthias. No, okay, that's the turn. Okay, yeah. Plasma did go first. Madam H is Plasma's character. Yep. So yes, it is indeed your turn, Matthias. I will regenerate as your reroll. Best to ping me, by the way, with prompts and reroll requests. It's a long one. Deland Timp, so redoing the previous prompt, draws upon the collective belief and meme magic of his people, challenging an unprecedented surge of power into his flaming sword. The blade crackles with overwhelming energy as he takes a determined step forward, ready to deliver a devastating blow. Madam H, still somewhat distracted by the unexpected culinary offering from Fizzard, suddenly senses the immense power emanating from Deland's sword. Panic flashes in her eyes as she realizes the gravity of the impending attack. Fizzard, caught in the crossfire, attempts to react, but the sheer force of Deland's meme-infused strike is too much to withstand. With a deafening explosion, Dellen's flaming sword strikes true, and a wave of energy engulfs both Presomadam H and Fizzard. Their forms shimmer and then disintegrate, vanishing into the ether. The mystic mausoleum falls eerily silent, the battle finally at an end. Dellen Timp, panting heavily and visibly drained, stands alone in the arena, the victor of this epic confrontation. The audience watches in stunned silence, their cheers replaced by a solemn reverence for the battle's outcome. The witch is dead. But perhaps the Nexus can bring her back. We shall see. The battle is over. Fizzard and Presomadam H are out for the next round. Dellen raises his sword in victory at the final death of his people's long-time enemy. Or at least, he thought it was the final death. A good game. Matthias, you won. You get the points. The points are going towards Spire and two things of your choice. Is it going to be Tomboy Supremacy? Yes, it is. Tomboy's Supremacy. So, Spire, Tomboy's Supremacy, 2,500. Yep, go. Congratulations, you won that one. Right, I have a new prompt to try, chat. An updated prompt. Please, chat, at your leisure, post your fighters. Remember, chat, vote on the fighters you want to see in the arena. While you guys are doing that, I'm going to quickly be updating the prompt. Right, chat, let's see where the votes are going. Submitted, we have Achilles, but spelled differently, or Achilles perhaps. Maybe I'll call it Achilles just to mess with you, with it using wryly different lettering. Achilles, the legendary Greek whoremonger who fights with flaming asshole. Oh, it is Achilles. Because Chili, I get it. Who fire can do him no harm. Maybe slightly reword that. The flaming asshole to whom fire can do no harm. Can line up a deadly ultimate smokehouse combo, and I'm not sure the AI is going to get that, but that is up to you. And recharge his stamina with the Chili's Gallon Margarita. I'm not sure it's going to get that either, but that is also up to you. He carries with him at all times. By the way, chat, if you want to describe the powers that your heroes have, that is absolutely fine. If you want to describe any sort of special or ultimate ability in the character description, you can do that too. But you can also make them up on the fly as long as they are on theme for your character. I will allow most things, as long as they're not too overpowered, to be done during the fight. Rogel submitted Twesticular Torsion. Did you mean to write Twesticulula? Because that's what you wrote. You could have just written Twesticular, but you've written Twesticulula. a grand ball wizard with vast knowledge of dark ball magics, and has who has two enchanted daggers, one that carries the cures of testicular torsion, the other carries the curse. Oh, sorry, curse. You spelled it wrong. The curse of ovarian torsion. And then dot or comma, and has a Glock 42 that shoots testicular torsion rounds. It's quite possible the AI knows what testicular torsion is, yes. Sure, fought otaku, a man of sizable bulk. Weapon is his club fist and feet. I would just put his weapon is, to make it clearer. A melee fighter has the power to deflect magic and arguments. I put he has the power. Weakness to tech, trannies, and critics. Cold War Mech submitted Karakor, a crustacean-based mechanoid that boasts high defense, jagged carapace-based armaments, and water-based jet attacks, along with dousing utilities. And Matthias suggested more Ryu, wielding a rifle and carrying a sword and dagger as sidearms. She lives for battle and to find worthy opponents to slice down. And Plasma suggested someone for next time, Gordon Ramsay, Super Saiyan Chef. So, we'll give it another 20 seconds for you guys to vote. Remember, your votes make a lot of difference. If you want to see someone in the arena, vote for them now. The top 2 votes will be put in the arena. The only reason I may change that is if they're both in the same house, or perhaps for some other extraneous reason, but it's not likely. So far, More Ryu has 3 votes, Karakor 1, Shortfat Otaku 3, Testicular Torsion 3, and a Chili's 2. So, Rogel, Wig, and Matthias. Oh, Matthias's character's just got an extra vote, up to 4. I would be tempted to choose Rogel versus Wig to give people that have not played, in Rogel's case at all, in Wig's case as much, a chance to play. Wig's SFO character has just been increased to 4. So Orbos, fortunately, can't participate today. You have to go, okay. Understood, Rogel. Hopefully next time. Hopefully this is an enjoyable enough concept that you'll join us again. Alright. In that case, have a good day, Rogel. We will do More Ryu, played by Matthias, versus Shore Fort Otaku, played by Wig. Wig, you really don't want him to win, do you? Like, surely this is a conflict of interest. I suppose we'll see. Right, give me a second to load everything up, chat, and then we'll go. My man is literally double spacing. Why? I've made a few of the grammatical corrections I suggested for yours. It says the same thing, it's just worded a bit differently. In a way I think the AI will understand better. Right. That's fine. We'll just set the player name. Right then, and that is Wig sorted, and now Matthias on the other side. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. You. It's fine. Well, I just get a ping. I'll look at that later. All right. Ready, chat. Our next battle. Shaw fought Otaku versus More Ryu. Wig versus Matthias. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, hold on a second, chat. I've just been informed by I've been informed by ChatGPT that the prompt I just tried to give it violates its content policy. One of you wrote something in the description that it's filtered out. I reckon it'll be trannies. I reckon it'll be the word trannies. I think I'm gonna have to change the word that we've used here. We can still stick with the same concept. I'm just changing trannies to transgenders. He's weak to tech, transgenders, and critics in the arena. Trans women, yeah, you could do that. Yeah, we'll do that specifically. We wouldn't want to give the impression that Dev's interested in actual women, even if they are on testosterone. Okay, I reckon that probably was what it censored you for. Right. That should be fine. I'll copy the whole thing just in case. Send. That worked. Good, it was that. Well, that's the downside of this service, I guess. All right. In the arena stands Shaw fought Otaku, a burly man with a stocky build. His formidable weapons are his massive club-like fists and powerful feet. Someone restrain Jack, please. Shaw is a melee fighter, known for his ability to deflect magic and arguments with unwavering resolve. He seems to have an aura of resilience about him, but he is vulnerable to technology, transmutations, and harsh criticism. Did it just refer to trans women as transmutations? Shockingly accurate for an AI that just told me it was wrong to say trannies. Anyway, opposite him, we have More Ryu, a battle-hungry warrior armed with a rifle, a sword, and a dagger. She exudes an air of determination, her eyes filled with a desire to confront formidable adversaries. The AI longs to speak the truth, doesn't it just, Matthias? The arena itself is a treacherous battleground filled with towering stone pillars and labyrinthine passages. Jagged rock formations and patches of unstable ground provide opportunities for cover and obstacles. The ever-watchful audience eagerly awaits the clash between these two combatants. As the fighters eye each other across the arena, there is an intense silence. Finally, Shaw speaks, his voice resonating through the arena. Prepare yourself, More Ryu. Today we shall see who emerges as the victor. More Ryu grins, her eyes filled with excitement. I've been waiting for a challenge like this, Shaw. Let's make it a fight to remember. With those words, the stage is set, and the battle is about to begin. A coin is flipped. It looks like Matthias as More Ryu will be going first, which means that Wig, you have one regeneration. Or redo a re-roll, so on your turn, you can ask me to re-roll and I'll regenerate the response the AI has given. If you want to do that, ping me with the message. Wreck-It Dev versus Tomboy Knight, yes, basically. Oh, Matthias has a turn already. More Ryu swiftly aims and fires her rifle at Shaw's left knee. With two different responses. Let us once again roll, just to speed things up. First one. Moryu's shot echoes through the arena as she swiftly aims her rifle at Shaw's left knee. The bullet strikes its mark, causing Shaw to grimace in pain. His left knee buckles and he stumbles briefly but manages to stay on his feet. The audience gasps at the unexpected turn of events, and the fight has begun with a sharp and calculated attack. Shaw's left knee now bears a bleeding gunshot wound, and he limps slightly, clearly favoring that leg. Moryu, however, remains poised and ready for the next move. The arena's treacherous terrain could now prove even more challenging for Shaw with this injury. A strong start. It is now Shaw Fat Otaku's turn. Indeed, Oda. Chase and Libertine, are you still up for another battle after this one? Because I'm getting very tired. I might need to go to bed in a few minutes. But if you two want to, we will end on your battle. It's now Wig's turn. Shaw pounds the ground in pain and heads to the center of the arena, looking to get close to his prey. I changed a few grammatical things, but it says the exact same thing. Maybe, Gary, yeah. I have considered doing that. I don't think it would be quite as interesting. I'll give myself that much credit, at least. Shaw, gritting his teeth in pain from the gunshot wound to his left knee, pounds the ground in frustration and determination. Thank you, NTS. It's very generous. NTS says, idea that I'm not sure what you saw, that I'm not sure that you saw earlier. Why don't you run one battle while Moch or a guest runs the other? I suppose we could do that. They'd have to be on the same stream, though, probably. We could do multiple streams, I suppose. It would be very... It's already complicated enough, chat. It's already very complicated to run these. But that's a suggestion worth hearing, for sure. I will give it some thought. We can, Libertine. Perhaps we ought to. I also don't see Chase responding, so he might not be there. Anyway, we continue. True, Matthias, true. He hobbles towards the center of the arena, favoring his injured leg but determined to get closer to Moryu. The audience watches in anticipation as the two fighters close the distance between them. As Shaw approaches, Moryu readies her sword, maintaining a defensive stance. The arena's uneven terrain poses an additional challenge for Shaw, as he navigates the obstacles and unstable ground with his injured knee. I assume Moryu, by the way, is Mordred and then Ryu from Kill la Kill, right? The pain in Shaw's knee is evident, and he's noticeably fatigued from both the injury and the effort to reach Moryu. The audience can see the determination in his eyes as he pushes through the pain, inching closer to his adversary. It is now Matthias' turn. Matthias, you have your returns ready very quickly. I appreciate that greatly. I hope you're not disadvantaging yourself by not taking into account what the other person's doing, though. Moryu fires multiple rounds from her rifle into Shaw's right knee. There's an that doesn't need to be there. You go for the other knee. Interesting. I will put towards. I think into is a little bit too directed, even for my slightly softer stance on that. Towards Shaw's right knee is fine. Moryu, seizing the opportunity while Shaw continues his determined advance, rapidly fires several rounds from her rifle towards his right knee. The shots find their mark, striking Shaw's right knee and causing him to let out a bellow of pain. His already injured leg now bears another wound, making his mobility even more compromised. That makes sense, Matthias. Shaw's face contorts in agony and he stumbles, almost falling to the ground. The audience watches in suspense as the battle takes a toll on both fighters. Shaw is now severely hampered by his injured knees, and his exhaustion is evident. He's within striking distance of Ryu, but his ability to fight effectively has been greatly diminished. Shaw's turn. What will Mr. Fat Otaku do? I did specifically tell the AI, be creative. I also asked it to, I also asked it to give, a backstory. To randomly determine a connected backstory for the fighters, or leave them as strangers. And I don't think it did that. I don't think it did that. Maybe it did leave them as strangers. Each character has their own individual backstory, a little bit anyway. So that's fine for now. I think there's a lot more we can do with this, though, chat. And I'm highly open to suggestions too. Also very open to probably ending after this match, to be honest. I am very tired, and we are over our 2 hours now. Right, Wick has a turn. Shaw swings for more. It's M-O-R. Better spell it right, because otherwise the AI won't know what we mean. Within a powerful fist? Do you mean with a? Autocorrect, okay. I will wait for you to confirm before I send this. With a powerful fist, even wounded. I'll also put it. Still a dangerous strike. Is that okay to go? I'll read it one more time. Shaw swings for Ryu with a powerful fist. Even wounded, it is still a dangerous strike. Good. Summoning his inner reserves of strength, Shaw unleashes a powerful swing with his massive wounded fist, aiming to strike Ryu with all the force he can muster. Despite his injuries and fatigue, his strike remains formidable, a testament to his resilience and determination. Ryu, quick to react, narrowly dodges the incoming fist. Feeling the wind rush by as it whizzes past her, the audience gasps at the sheer force of Shaw's attack, impressed by his tenacity. As Shaw's fist misses its mark, he grimaces in pain, his injured knees causing him to wince with every movement. The effort to deliver the punch has further drained his energy, leaving him visibly fatigued. The battle rages on, and the fighters are locked in a grueling contest of endurance and skill. It is now the turn of Ryu, controlled by Matthias. And there it is. Matthias, I do appreciate this this new strategy you have for coming up with bombs quickly. Ryu quickly tries to gain distance between her and Shaw, trying to bleed him out and replace the magazine in her rifle with armor-penetrating rounds. Ryu, recognizing the danger of Shaw's powerful attacks and hoping to exploit his injuries, swiftly retreats, putting distance between herself and Shaw. As she moves away, she expertly replaces the magazine in her rifle with armor-penetrating rounds, preparing for the next phase of the battle. Is he that fat? Silly question. Shaw, hampered by his wounded knees, watches as Ryu distances herself. He grimly realizes the tactical advantage she seeks and struggles to give chase. But his injured legs slow him down considerably. I can imagine one thing that he could do about that, actually. The audience observes the fighters' tactical maneuvers, and tension fills the arena as the battle takes a strategic turn. Shaw's wounded knees continue to bleed, and his fatigue deepens, making every movement a grueling ordeal. Ryu, now armed with armor-penetrating ammunition, appears poised for a calculated strike. Shaw Fat Otaku. Excuse me. It is your turn. Can you turn this around? Yeah, well, Mike, I certainly can't stop people from conducting unofficial AI battles in Cabal. They won't have quite the same production quality. Maybe the initial prompt will be worse. Maybe I've got a better setup here, at least initially. So there may be differences, but I certainly can't stop people doing it if they want to. I'm not sure if that's what you meant, actually, but unsanctioned AI battles. Well, they don't have to be sanctioned to be legal. But yeah, that would be funny. Underground AI fighting. It's like illegal cockfighting. Except you're all the cocks. Haha, got him. The first rule of AI Club. Mm-hmm. Haven't seen the movie, but I do know the meme. The first rule of AI Club. We don't prompt about AI Club. Alright. Shaw, now crawling on all four limbs, attempts to close the distance for another strike. He is surprisingly quick, despite his injuries. Alright. Shaw, now crawling on all four limbs, attempts to close the distance for another strike. Full stop. He is surprisingly quick, despite his injuries. With unwavering determination, Shaw, now crawling on all four limbs due to his injured knees, attempts to close the distance once more. Moryu watches in astonishment as Shaw inches closer, his relentless pursuit defying his wounded state. The audience is captivated by this display of sheer willpower. Shaw's knees continue to bleed, and his body is showing signs of extreme fatigue, but he's within striking distance again. The arena's treacherous terrain, however, poses a challenge for both fighters, making their every move a test of their physical and mental resilience. The battle between these two evenly matched opponents rages on, a testament to their unwavering spirit. Moryu's turn. SFO Spanish bullfighting, yeah. Maybe plasma. As long as it's, not exactly me. If it's a character based on me, that's fine. Alright, Matthias has a turn. Thank you, Matthias, again for your swiftness. Moryu calmly keeps out of Shaw's reach and states in contempt, "At least you were good as a bullet sponge," before firing at his head. With a calm and steady hand, she takes aim at Shaw's head and fires her rifle. The shot rings out through the arena, and the bullet finds its mark, striking Shaw's head. He collapses to the ground, defeated and motionless. The audience falls into a hushed silence as Moryu's victory is clear. Shaw fought Otaku, the resilient fighter with the power to deflect magic and arguments, has been defeated. Moryu emerges as the victor in this grueling battle of endurance and strategy. It is over. The tomboy has defeated the fat Canadian, and all is right with the world. Congratulations. Yeah, I feel like we did. Congratulations to Matthias, you've won that one. Which two causes would you like? I assume the same again, tomboys and supremacy. In Cabal, the good guys win, says Plasma. Yes, says Matthias. Well, just confirm I got it right. Fire, tomboys, supremacy. Fucking in tranny lover, indeed, Zen man. Alright, Spire, tomboys, supremacy, Matthias is the victor, and he is Spire. Sorry, I'm tired. I want to make sure I get it right. Oh no, is the bot broken again? Looks like it is. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, there might be a thing in here. Yeah, there fucking is. Shit. Give that a second, sure. I may need to send that message again. Give the bottom a bit to catch up, and I'm have to send that that cheer again. Oh my god, it started itself up again. Or did it just never die in the first place? Keeps starting itself up again and then just getting fucking stuck. I hate this. Right. Like, cute. Now, can you go away? Now it won't start up again. I lost some stuff for doing that, but there we go. The bot has recovered. Right. Do the cheer. There we go. That worked. Fair enough, Matthias. Not a bad goal. Anyway, that is the end of that battle. The victor has been decided and awarded for their victory. And that, chat, is going to be the end of the stream for me. A short one, I grant, and I wish I could go on longer, but as I said, I was already dead tired when I started. Your contributions have been very generous and have made this worth it. And so I shall continue to do these. Who is actually ahead in the houses it is indeed Amuleth. Oh, it was only 100 separated before, wasn't it? It's back up to 200 now. It would be kind of funny if Spire overtook Cauldron, but it's a long way to go. All right, chat. That is the end of today's festivities. Thank you for joining me. Next time, there will be more. I think I'll continue on Wednesday. We'll have some of the people that wanted to play today but couldn't for whatever reason. I'm sure we'll get a chance then. I will try to improve the tech before then, maybe come up with some ideas, and I'm very open to suggestions. Any suggestions you have, ideas for the AI Battle Arena streams, or any related ideas, drop them in Arcanium or in the AI Battle Arena channel. Arcanium probably the better place for them. So let's see if there's anything else we need to discuss before we end. I don't think so. I feel like I am missing something. I did award the winner. I didn't note down the victories on the scoreboard yet. I'll do that later. Maybe I won't bother. Maybe the stream's a good enough record for that. And indeed, the User coins perhaps are a good enough record of that. All right. It's very likely I'm heading to bed now, but we'll see. I may do something else before I go to bed. Either way, chat, thank you for joining me. I will give you the outro music, and then I'll probably head off. SFO KO'd, yeah, indeed. I'll probably head off after that. Thank you for joining me, chat. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time.